Hi, I'm Wayne Herschel. I'm a pictographic symbologist and author with 3 decades study in the field.
Wayne's discoveries, seen in the documentary link, have been previously covered up, repressed, and encoded for elite eyes only, throughout history. Wayne Herschel, who has revived these lost truths, has now been made almost invisible online to repress the truth. Bezos and Musk will without doubt be interested in the story, if they saw it, and would obviously want to be a part of it. Time will tell as to who comes forward first, and who gets to gain the most benefits of the new way forward that is going to be at hand, if the alien message is as clear as what it seems. Wayne personally is pinning his hopes on his fellow South African Elon Musk coming to the table first, with his humanitarian objectives. However, Jeff Bezos currently markets Wayne's books, even if only for a 5-cent author royalty for bookstores. Amazon, however, in one simple computer adjustment, could at no cost, revive the book's visibility. But Musk could do exactly the same, but in a different way, and at a small cost. But the first to secure more visibility and security to Wayne and the book project, then individual loyalty and confidentiality, will be the fairest way forward. Wayne has discovered measurable evidence of the ancient site of Atlantis. Also decoded by him on this site, is a quantifiable message to humanity, with a precise date of our advanced ancient ancestors returning.
I'm author of the recent Atlantis discovery claim, as you see in this new book, finding the circular canals and the ground zero cause of the Great Flood. I'm also author of the Hidden Records trilogy book series on Amazon. But the problems began once I realized I could not omit an alien element with my findings, and that is when everything changed.
How does he make such earth-shattering claims, you might ask? All is in the documentary and the links added to this video for your respective teams to evaluate. A 3-mile-wide alien message suddenly appeared overnight, indented into the earth at the ancient site of Atlantis, while he was monitoring the area. Not only does the message spell out a date for first contact on August 2nd, 2027, but it reveals the identity of the visitors. It reveals that the ancients are returning, during a multitude of global cataclysmic crises, as the dial on the doomsday clock chimes midnight. From all indicators in his 30-year quest, Wayne Herschel is convinced that one, or maybe both of these space tech giants, or perhaps even some other mysterious and influential philanthropist, is going to be the biggest part of the critical changes that will save humanity and the planet itself.
Some will say, this is the greatest secret never told. My collection of over 20 massive new discoveries, when pieced together, reveals our very alien human origins on Earth, how it began, and how our cosmic brethren out there have now set a precise date for first contact.
Wayne's interest with this appeal is twofold. Firstly, to try to secure a better result for first contact. Secondly, to attain safer personal security, work security, and regain visibility. The first of the 2 space tech powerhouses, to gain full context of what is unfolding, will already know what is on the table, and how they can do something wonderful with first contact.
Wayne Herschel's Hidden Records research and support team urges you to involve qualified evaluators to review the historical and scientific content of the full 2-hour documentary titled, The Secret That Changes Everything. This will allow you to see the reality and urgency to help you make your decision accordingly. Evaluation book copies will follow. See the YouTube link below.
Here is where we call on the public to please consider joining Wayne's Patreon fundraiser. See the links below.
My Atlantis discovery claim for the first time shows the circular canal's fingerprint of Atlantis, the port city, and Atlantis, the lost island continent, proven with geology. just seen the Sumerian Genesis stone unveiled, but there is one more that I would say is more important, and in the future scholars might look at this one as the most important of all of them. It's something that's found a few hundred kilometers north of the Atlantis circular canals that I've identified. Behold the Atlantis stone. This is for the whole of humanity. But here's the X that marks the spot, right down here, using either the Pleiades, following the leg of the bull, or the swastika nebula coming off. And it shows like this little hockey stick piece, and I think that's a crescented world.
A rare ancient map seen here shows a very strange depiction that led Wayne Herschel to discover the real Pillars of Hercules, and with it, the lost lighthouse of West Africa. There never ever was a Spain counterpart for any landmark pillars. The detail shown was actually an insert of a view of a cave opening on the cliffs of the westernmost point of Morocco in Africa. It was once a stone quarry. The flat round stones, literally scooped out from the walls, inside the cave, to make megalithic pillars. Two such pillars no doubt once stood at the entrance of the cave. The cave even has a legend about Hercules attached to it. As a lighthouse, it relayed a very important message to seafarers. It was carved in the shape of Africa. At night, a golden Africa billboard. In the day, a clear dark imprint clearly seen against the light stone cliff. When the cave was operational as a beacon, the coast of Spain did not exist at all here. It was just open sea. Wayne will prove this in his take on Atlantis to follow.
It was a few years before the new millennium that Wayne's relentless quest for finding the lost continent of Atlantis began. As per all his star maps, the ancient site would have to have the telltale Pleiades, or Orion monument template. He found an updated ocean bed LiDAR map online. Following the Pillars of Hercules quote from Plato, he said Atlantis was somewhere along the line shown. But nothing Wayne could find here came even close to a large undersea landmass. It was here where he noticed what he first thought was an impact crater, but the unique smooth bottom pattern kept going north. It had a line
canals, was here. Here is the very simple news release clip he sent to some big media to coincide with his Atlantis book release.
In Wayne's grand summary and conclusion of what all the star maps and the alien message and Atlantis mean to humanity, we now need to define it more precisely. The swastika is not just prevalent, with a human origin theme in the Celtic Empire, because it is found globally, in virtually all great megalithic empires, before it was hijacked and demonized by an extremist during World War II. Discovering what it truly means, the strongest cases go back to the Atlantis survivors of the Great Flood, throughout Europe over 10,000 years ago.
It was a sacred symbol, and now is the time for it to be revived. Here is our first amazing example. Found in the UK, at Ilkley Moor, it shows an exact match with the Orion Nebula. Also including a set of extra stars that we need to examine up close, as we can test the correlations. It all seems to be confirmation of Wayne Herschel's star map theory with the X that marks the spot. A second example now found across the sea, in northern Italy, at Val Camonica. It is absolutely identical. At this site, a new clue takes Wayne's theory to new heights. There is a cross version of Orion, in identical style to the swastika, and it has more to add, in explaining what is found for the X marks the spot. If you follow Orion's belt to the X marks the spot area, a flying astronaut, with knees bent, explains what originates from the Sun star in the star maps. As you compare one with the other, it identifies two separate Orion elements as shown. A cross within a cross, so to speak. Included is an extended Orion swirling nebula by virtue of two extra stars. These two ancient sites in the UK and Italy show the Orion swirling nebula, in correct matching anticlockwise correlation, and their message to find the ancestor star.
But there are also clockwise swirl records of the ancient swastika. One is found near the Atlantis site. Some will argue, it's because the ancient survivors of the Great Flood who knew of the star map could not see the nebula and could easily have forgotten the original swirl direction. But Wayne realized the name for the swastika, passed down from the Celtic Communion tribes, most likely referred to the pink nebula as a rose for good reason. A spiraling rose has golden mean mathematics. Coincidentally, it also marks out the alignment with the X marks the spot. An extended petal of the nebula appears to be another way to emphasize the target sun star. But one special Communion rose record comes from a site that is slightly north of the lost Atlantis port city. And the ancients depicted it like this, as well as adding a squiggle and the Pleiades shape to locate the X marks the spot. What you're seeing is the very blueprint code of the Atlantis Pleiades Islands, and ringed canals to mark ground zero.
Found at the site of Guy Foyers in Portugal, it additionally includes the Pleiades to emphasize the star map's importance. But for Wayne, this story all came together when a paranormal event indented this identically themed star map in the very center of the inner circular canal area, at the ancient Atlantis site. It happened on the eve of 2012. One that included an encoded date of their return. August the 2nd, 2027. And just when we thought that since 2012 the ancients might not be watching developments on Earth, in 2020, experts were called out to investigate a field near Stonehenge after people saw strange lights. Another swastika crop circle in the same Atlantis swirl style had appeared. It again included the X marks the spot.
Is it really an alien message? Let's now look at all the evidence. Wayne calls this 4-kilometer wide land depiction the geoglyph. It covers an area larger than Giza. This cosmic artwork is dead center of the port city of Atlantis. They are truly crop circles, but so intensely created by downforce that they indented the ground permanently, without harming the crop. The star visitors most likely chose the absolute center of the Atlantis inner island city to leave its message, also because the field has a grid pattern effect. It was firstly conducive to astronomy, and secondly to playing host to the Siemens computer code. The geoglyph shows Wayne Herschel's star map. It's as if the star visitors knew he was working there, and would notice it and decode it. While the world waited and watched the Maya calendar 2012 event. With two numbers, 20, 27.
Up close here is Orion, astronomically for the comparative with the computer program. No doubt about it, again Wayne's star map. Let's recap, and see if we can prove, or disprove the alien star map. What lies on the bull's back is no longer a mystery. Orion Man carries the long cross in the sky. So, was it a coincidence? The records claim the Christ was made to carry his cross? For teaching us about our star origins? Just as they forced him to wear a sun halo of thorns?
Now watch closely, the 4 cross markers of Orion, from its outer stars. In our tradition of the Templar cross, the 4 dot markers were made traditionally in a square icon depiction. The ancients compressed the vertical y-axis scale, for us to make it square without compromising the x-axis alignment, for distance measurement. We have now just solved the ellipse mystery, why they used ground indentations with this choice of pattern. Now let's reorientate it as they did in context with field grid pattern and astronomical star map grid layout. Add the swastika nebula to the equation. Notice how the ellipse alignments match the outer swastika band that shows the alignment to X marks the spot. Here we have precise measurement defined, and it defines Sol 1 primary as the target.
A star map, a message, and a date for first contact. But hang on, how did the 2nd of August get thrown in? A precise date? The real Mayan prophecy insists a total eclipse will accompany the return of the gods. Lo and behold, in rare correlation for the Atlantis port city site at ground zero, a total eclipse begins right here on this very day. The visitors have shown us all. While we wait, watch and count down to the big day, please consider being a part of Wayne Herschel's Patreon quest. See the links below. He truly needs your help to keep the quest of upholding the sanctity of humanity's real history alive. Save the knowledge that will free humanity. You too can be the change.